Gradation-FX is a unique technique with the ColorLogic system that allows us to blend different metallic colors together, or we could blend metallic into CMYK. Now these are techniques that you just simply cannot do with a spot color system on its own. You cannot, with a spot color system, blend different metallic spot colors together because the DFE or the RIP doesn't have a formulation to say what the colors in the middle of those two gradients are. So to demonstrate how we do this, first of all we have to do two different approaches with inside Illustrator. Now we're using Illustrator because this is the most complex of programs to learn with the ColorLogic system. And I stress that it's complex, but it's only complex if you don't know Illustrator. You know, everything we do is normally very simple. For example, as I've shown in my other tutorial videos, if I wanted to make a metallic color, I can click and drag and drop. But what we need to do with the gradients is we're picking multiple colors. You'll notice here these are just solid colors. These are graphic styles that are predefined recipes of color. So you cannot use the graphic style library for doing gradients because it would only apply it as a solid color. What we need is to go to the swatch libraries and use the ColorLogic swatches here, which are the CMYK versions. So this allows us to make our design. So what I'm going to do here is going to pull over some of our palettes from the other screen, and I'm going to bring these two over. So first of all, I'm going to select let's select all of them and make them all linear gradients. Now from the first one here, this is where your start and end points are. So you can take some colors, and I'm going to go orange into maybe like a yellow. Maybe we decide we don't quite like this orange, maybe we want it a little bit stronger, maybe you want a red in there. So we just basically play around until you've got your design of your colours that you like. So I'm going to do a green, let's do a blue into here. Oops, made a little mistake there, that's okay. Now I'm going to go and do something, let's do a greeny green. Now let's do that into something awful like a purple. So you can see all we're doing here is basically controlling the start and end points of our colours. So maybe we want something a bit deeper, like a purple into a light blue. Okay, so we've created our range of colours, and we're just going to do the first four to start off with, because I'm going to do these as metallic gradients. That means metallic red into metallic yellow, metallic green into metallic blue. Now I don't like this green on this side because I don't think the transition is going to be enough. So again, I'm just going to go through and make a slight change. And I might change that blue to something a little bit lighter, maybe a little bit paler. Something like that. Okay, so I'm happy with my colours now. Now just to show you, let's just turn on our separations. None of them are metallic at the moment. We need to make them metallic. And we can do that by going to our appearance. And we can basically, where the fill layer is, we're going to add a new layer on top, color it up as ColorLogic, and change its attributes to overprint. So we're overprinting the ColorLogic separation. I'm going to do the same thing here, put another one to ColorLogic, set it to overprint. So all we're doing here is we're adding the ColorLogic separation on top of our design and making it overprint. So that means that the metallic separation is not going to knock out the design below. Okay, so that, if we now turn on the CMYK, the separation, and turn off the CMYK, you'll see it's creating that silver separation for us. So they're now metallic. What I'm going to do here is I'm also going to duplicate these. I'm going to do the same thing again. Let's just going to replace these down at the bottom. So these bottom four, let's just get rid of some of the stuff that I've hidden. Okay, so for these bottom four here are identical to these ones above, but I'm going to change the metallic effect. So on this one here, I'm going to change this from a solid ColorLogic. I'm actually going to make it a gradient. And I'm going to explain what I'm going to do on each one. So I'm going to make each one of these a gradient. And that's the last one. Okay, so at the moment it's just white to black over the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my color palette over here where I've got the ColorLogic separation. I'm going to put ColorLogic on the left. I'm going to put ColorLogic on the right, but this one on the right, I'm going to change the value down to 0. So now we have color logic metallic effect of red blending into CMYK or process yellow. Same thing on here. Now what I could do, if I hadn't have done these little duplicate bits here, if you pick up the last thing here, this actual gradient, it'll remember that. So if I go on to my next one down here, I put in a new fill layer, it should, well it didn't, oh dear. Well, if it didn't, what I can do is I can drag and drop again each color. Well, that's a great thing about working live, is that you just never know whether something's going to work out perfectly. Okay, so I'm just going to change my colors to there, change it to 0, set to overprint. Next one, color logic here, color logic there, change the value to 0, set it to overprint. And now what we have metallic going into non-metallic in each of those lower four. So it's the same gradients as above here, but I've just made it CMYK on this edge. So that's going to have a natural, smooth transition of metallic into non-metallic. And that's how you can be creative. These are tools that empower the designer to do things above and beyond a spot color system. So if you want your print to stand out above the competition, do something different. Do something that's going to grab the attention that people think, how did they do that? That's incredible. How does this effect work? So when you start to then combine all these different effects together, let me just move some of these palettes out of the way and we'll pull our file back together. You'll see all these different types of effects. So before I show you everything, I'm just going to close this video down and then I'm going to create a final video tutorial.